What's going on to the 8 people in here, man? It's the CNG podcast. It's me and my dog CJ in here right now, but we got a gang of people coming up. It's going to be a fun show, man. And you see, I got the Cubs hat on. It's supposed to come shot. It's supposed to come like everybody's supposed to be in here. So just give us a second, and we're gonna get to some content for you guys in a minute. But leave us your comments. If it's 22 people in here, we're talking about the Bears on the bye week, man. What are you guys' thoughts about being? I'm actually breaking my oath.
Hey, you'll be good.
Hold on, man. We're gonna play this little this mic'd up right here, man. Then we're gonna get to it. Give me 1 second.
The Bears look for their first winning streak of the season and their first road win. 1-2 Chicago.
Somebody got wind coming through their mic.
Oh, y'all hearing me all right?
Sends it airborne.
Let's go, D. Come on.
Gently with space to the 40, tracked down at the 46-yard line by Tremaine Edmonds. The Bears look for their first winning streak of the season and their first road win. 1-2 Chicago, 1-2 Vegas Raiders from Allegiant Stadium.
Let's go.
Let's go to work. We put in too much work to doubt ourselves now, bro. Trust each other. Let's lead this group and start with us, bro. We set the tempo, bro. Hey, same, different location. Let's go to work. Dogs on 2, 1, 2. Let's go. Game one, no stretches. Let's go. Huh, you know what it is. Let's go. They got to fill us, bro. Play one, they got to fill us. Let's go. Let's go to work.
Here's the run-up, swings his leg and sends it airborne.
Let's go, D. Come on.
Gently with space to the 40, tracked down at the 46-yard line by Tremaine Edmonds. Gently met and driven down. Edmonds leading the charge.
Come on, man. I'm here. Come on.
Blitz is on by Brisker, picked up with time, throwing, intercepted Byard. Running left to midfield, to the 40 of the Raiders, to the 30 of the Raiders, and he's popped out of the ground. Kevin Byard, another interception.
Let's go, man. Come on. Hey, what up, boy? Come on, yo. Let's get out the field. Three and out, yo.
Now he takes and turns, gives to Gentry. Ball comes out after the hit, and the ball is inside the 20-yard line. Bears have it. Tyreek Stevenson on the fumble recovery.
Yay! Let's go, D. Hey, give it back to the O. Let's go.
Bear down.
Bears come with the pressure. Clean pocket, though. Throws, and Byard steps in front of the threat of Jacoby Myers. Up with it at the 30 and brought down near the 26. A diving interception by Kevin Byard.
What up, what? Come on. Hey, visualize. Let's go, visualize. Let's go. Everybody to the ball. Let's go, be great.
This long snapper has had issues. He's on the ball right now. Awaiting the snap. It's good. Snap is good. It's good. Bears block the kick.
Let's go. Come on, man. Let's go.
The Bears are celebrating. They are going to sneak out of Allegiant Stadium with a 25-24 win.
What up?
Josh Blackwell.
What up? What up? All the way to the end, brother. Brother. Yeah! Chicago.
Yeah. Fellas, what's up? Welcome to the show, baby. How we feeling today?
Good.
Man, how we feeling, man? We got 76 people in here right now, man. We got Bobby from Chicago Bears Central in here. Yeah, you see him. And we got Chicago Clarence from the Bears Den podcast in here. You see him.
What's up, guys?
Then we got my dog CJ and Allen from the CNG podcast in here, man. How y'all doing? Y'all good?
Yeah, we good. I'm good.
All right, man. So we gonna get to it, man. See, y'all got your cameras off right now, but we 2-2, man. We're not gonna take anybody's time or be in here longer than what we can or should be. Y'all know how I roll. So we 2-2, Bobby. We could be on 4, man. We could be 1-3, man. We can be whatever you want us to be.
We could be 3-1.
We could be 3-1. Depending on, we could be 3-1. But we 2-2, man. So just what's your thoughts on the season so far, bro? It's just the first 4 games, whether it's the offense, Caleb Williams, him developing, Ben Johnson, whatever you think, bro. Like, what has been your thoughts on these first 4 games, man?
Hey, after game 1, everybody was like, this feels familiar, right? But then after we got through all of what we was getting through, I'm like, bro, this is new coach, new system. Let's give him some of the grace that we gave Matt Eberflus, even though Matt Eberflus didn't deserve none of that shit in his last year. He deserved no grace. So I'm like, this is a new guy coming in, trying to set the tone, trying to come in with new standards. Let's allow Ben Johnson to work. And whether we want to hear it or not, it's going to require a little bit of time. And right now, we looking like we getting some things rolling in the right direction. And I'm happy with what I'm seeing, man. Yes, when you watch the film, you want to see a better pass rush. Yes, you want to see a better running game. Yes, you want to see better protection from your offensive lineman. Yes, you want to, see Caleb Williams continue to take steps forward. But right now, I think we're in a decent place. Right now, that game last week with the Vegas Raiders, that's a game we lose. And the guys came through and they prevailed, and I think that was a culture win right there. It's not to say that the culture is built, but that is a block that you can start the foundation with. We got a lot of more work to do, and right now I'm good. But me personally, I cannot get ahead of myself, but I will say there is an opportunity in front of us with the injuries in the defense, with the Commanders, with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens looking a bit shaky, with the Bengals not having Joe Burrow. So there is opportunity, but let's take it week by week for them to show us, give us something to cheer for. We got ahead of ourselves a lot of the times the last few seasons. Let's allow them to show us what they're really made of.
Man, I love it, man. So CJ, man, I'm gonna start with you, bro. The season has been, people thought we're 3-1. I think I had us 3-1. We should have won the game against the Vikings. If was a 5th, we all be drunk, but we didn't. And we are what our records show us. 2-2. So just what's been your thoughts, CJ, just on the offense, the defense? What do you think about Rome Odunze, Cole Commander, anything like that to get us 2-2 and everything? So what's your thoughts, CJ, so far?
He muted.
Oh, you got to unmute your mic, see?
Yeah, my fault. I was gonna say the one thing about Rome Odunze, he's actually coming along a lot faster than what I thought he was gonna be. So I'm not gonna say he actually expanded my expectations of him. He's doing exactly what I thought he was gonna do, but he's just doing it at a faster pace. As far as the Bears offense, it's where I expected it to be. I think the defense is a little bit more surprising, but I'm going to say as far as that defensive line, it's not too many players patient with that a little bit. Yeah. But the defense is coming along.
Third, fourth offensive coordinator, and his third just 1 year. So I've had to remind myself to give him a little bit of grace. And I think that with the coaching, he's going to come along. Him leading us to a game-winning drive is what we need to see. As far as the defense side of the ball, I ain't trying to hear none of that, brothers, because we Montez Sweat to do more than what he's doing. We paid Adebayo to do more than what he's doing. And it's time for players to earn their money. You're going to sign up for a job and you're going to be paid for that said job, then you got to produce on that said job. And we got too many people that are being paid and not producing.
Man, well said, man. I just think that it's way too many people on this team that's not producing. I just think that, I think they dropped the ball on a lot of stuff on this team. I just think that it's just been an indictment on Ryan Poles and to some extent Ben Johnson. Like the fact that we have to pretty much almost Bobby and whoever, we have to pretty much revamp this whole defensive line, man. This defensive line is atrocious for the amount of money that we paid for it, man. I don't know what Montez Sweat is doing. I don't know what Dio's supposed to be doing on the potential guy. I don't know what Shamar Turner is doing. Billings is old, you know what I mean? Grady Jarrett, we brought him in here to be something. It's just like the defensive line to me has been the worst spot on this team, Bobby. And we can't stop the run, Bobby. So if I'm Dennis Allen or if you're Dennis Allen, Bobby, you got to remake this whole defensive line. Am I correct? Or what's your thoughts, Bobby?
If you Dennis Allen, you pissed off because if you go and watch the tape, you see Montez Sweat not out of position, not setting the edge. Dio Ndingbo not setting the edge. You got guys that's in the interior that's kind of, getting shoved out of the way in the Raiders game to where Ashton Genty broke off for a big run. You see Big Bill get pushed out the way, and he's supposed to be filling his gap, and he getting pushed out the way, and nobody really recovering or filling that gap, which is the linebackers. So when Kevin Byard comes out and speaks, and he said it takes all of us, he's absolutely correct, because if one of your guys getting moved out and your job as the linebackers to come fill that gap, you got to go and fill that gap. So that goes down to our highly paid linebacker as well. I'm looking at these guys, you out of position, you not setting the edge, and our linebackers, they got to have better eye discipline with a lot of the run stopping that they're trying to do. So hopefully they talking all this fundamental stuff over the bye week. You know what I'm saying? We need to clean this stuff up because it's not going to get easier. It's going to start getting cold outside. Right. It's not going to be nice in a lot of these locations that y'all about to go to. And what's going to win the games? It's going to be defense and running this rock, which is another thing I'm sure we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, so Alan, man, just your thoughts, man. Just how do you feel, Alan, about the defense, man? Because we can sit here and say, Alan, that the offense is trending, Rome is trending up, Caleb is looking like he's trending up, it's looking like he can really take over a game and marches up the field, and he's looking like he's learning to win ugly. And I think in a culture like this, or building a team, you have to learn how to win some ugly games. Like you got to get a part of that in your DNA. Like everything is not going to be 3 touchdowns and 330 yards. Sometimes it's going to be a 25 to 24 game or 21 to 16 game. But with that being said, like what are your thoughts on this defense, and just what are your thoughts been on the first 4 weeks in general?
Well, the defense, man, I'm gonna say this: they doing the best they can. Dennis Allen is doing the best he can with what he got. Just to add to Clarence and Bobby, Clarence is saying that Sweat's got to be accountable, and Dale, I've been checking my pockets, man. I feel like them jokers stealing from me, man. I don't know about y'all, but I just feel a little short, in the pockets with Dale and Sweat. So I don't know. I'm gonna look around for it, but we're gonna find that money. So it's just the keys and the eye discipline. I like what you said, Bobby. Billings. That's where Billings comes in, where he can swallow up the blocks, because when you got Javon Dexter and you have Grady, when you got them inside, sometimes they're not taking up the blocks and they're allowing the linemen to get clean shots on the linebackers. And I was telling G last week, our linebackers are playing too close to the line of scrimmage. I don't like when linebackers are 2 yards away from the line of scrimmage. I like linebackers to be 4 yards set like we were taught in Little League, because that gives you enough room to maneuver. At 2 yards, you give them a guard that's 300 pounds a quick start, and that's throwing you out the play. And I think a lot of times when we are sitting in that back front, we get moved around because they're too close to the line of scrimmage. You got to mix that stuff up. And I just don't know if Coach Allen is noticing. I'm pretty sure he is, but we got to find a way to find creative ways to get into these gaps. And I think slanting will help by being a smaller defensive line like Deo. And when we get Booker back, I think we need to incorporate more slants, like slant left, slant right. That way we don't have to depend so much on the defensive tackles to keep guys off the linebacker. We're going to have those gaps shaded so the linebackers can now get downhill. So hopefully we can make these strategic adjustments. And then to the offense is really a work in progress, and they're doing a good job. But they got to clean up these penalties, man. We shooting ourselves in the foot a lot of times with the penalties, but the offense is finding the groove, and I think we'll build up, and then we'll find ourselves in a good spot moving forward.
Yeah, man, and I agree, man. I think Dennis Allen is doing the best that he can without being able to get pressure on the quarterback. Like, we're seeing how the coaching staff is pretty much doing the best they can with Tariq Stevens, with Kevin Byard. You know, even though we get on Tremaine Edmonds a lot, he's leading in a lot of categories right now as a top linebacker. So we got Andy from on the Bears Den podcast in here, man. One of my OGs in here, another Cubs alum. You see the Cubs won. I told everybody, Eddie, that you weren't going to come in here until the game was over, man. We end up winning. It was nothing but stress at the end. Our pitcher was hitting hitters and shit. Shit was getting goofy at the end of the game, but we won. We brought it out. Shout out to the Cubs, but we ain't here to talk about Bears football, man. So what has been your thoughts on the first 4 games of the season so far? Like, from a defensive standpoint, Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson, Dennis Allen, anything, Ryan Poles, running game. What you got, man? This is going to be a barbershop style podcast. So, man, just shoot off, bro.
Unfortunately, on the bad news, I think the defense is going to struggle the remainder of the year. I just don't. I mean, Edwards will help. Booker might help. Gordon might help. But I just think it pretty much is who we are who we are. And I think we're going to struggle against the run the remainder of the year. We just don't have a big dog on the defensive tackle that can stop the run. And so far, no edge has emerged. Like, they should be on milk cartons because they're missing in action. I mean, our secondary is doing pretty well considering we lost Jalen Johnson, didn't have Kyler Gordon. Tyreek Stevenson is finally showing what we all expected him to be, a number 1 corner. He's finally showing it. And we always knew the kid had the talent. It's always been the other stuff that's held him back. And the offense, I mean, if we had a running game, I think you'd see Ben Johnson really be able to use more pages out of his playbook. I think that's really hurting us and hindering us, not being able to run that ball. That is killing us, not being able to run that ball. Because nothing will work then. No play action will work, no boots, no rollouts. Because nobody's going to be scared of that. They're not going to respect it because we can't run. So when they see Caleb roll out or boot or hand off, they're not going to respect it. I think that's killing a lot of Ben Johnson's playbook. I think Braxton Jones being benched was a long time coming. It had to be done. Now, I thought the line was better in the second half once they moved Benedek to left tackle and Trapillo to right. I thought it really solidified itself. So I would roll with Benedek at left as well and bring Wright in at right tackle.
Man, you know what? And I'm gonna go to CJ on the next one. You can piggyback off anything, CJ, man. Just speak your mind. But we got a couple of comments in here. We had Soulback Sportsman. I was just on this podcast. Shout out to Amber saying, "Fly the W, the Cubs win. Go Cubs, go." Shout out to my boy Andy reposted the stream. We got Soulback Sports saying defense needs to get healthy, and this is definitely not an evaluation year for who we got to have and who should go at the end of the season. Yeah, because the Javon Dexter, CJ, like Allen called that man a safety on our last post game show, man. So the defensive line right now, man, is not looking good, CJ, man, and the defense is terrible. It's just crazy, man. The offensive line is looking like it might be ahead of the game as far as if you feel like Trapillo was a fluke, or or was what's the other guy named Benedict, because they had put Theo at the left then they put Trapillo at the right. So CJ, you will have to see more consistency, at least for about 3-4 weeks, to feel like these guys are going to be probably like your main bookends, because Darnell Wright going to the left tackle, you know what I mean? How you feel about that? Then you got the right side with Trapillo or Theo. So how are you feeling about this offensive line, CJ?
I mean, as far as Theo and Ozzie, I thought they did pretty good in the Raiders game. But if I'm the Bears, I'll probably give those two guys probably another 4.
The right side with Ozzie is a natural right tackle. You can tell that he's at home at right tackle. But we drafted a guy to be a backup to a guy that we're going to potentially give an extension to. So I'm still curious to what we did right there. It's got to be something more to the pot. But I think Theo's going to probably get most of the bulk of the reps going forward. So hopefully he can find a way to stay on his feet. He's a good athlete, though, and he's got good hand punch. But he's got to learn to stay on his feet. Braxton couldn't stay neutral and solid, but he stayed on his feet, if that makes sense. So we got to find a way to stay on our feet on that left side, because if teams see what I've seen on tape, they're going to send some stunts his way. And that's going to, if you're not accessible and not understanding these stunt concepts, he's going to be in trouble, because you got to stay on your feet and you got to stay on a swivel. If not, you're going to leave yourself open to a lot of players coming at you. And it might be more than one. And that's going to be not good for Caleb trying to see something he can't see from the left side.
Man, you just cooked right there, LG. But we got the guy that I love coming here to talk sports with us, man. He's come in right away with the facts, with the numbers, with the feeling, with the vibration, man. This dude is almost feel like he the Tupac of the podcast world. I'm talking about nobody other than that man, Shy from the South Side. Big dog, how you feeling today, bro? Let's get this man a round of applause, big dog.
Gratitude and appreciation. What's up, family? How y'all doing?
What up, though?
Absolutely. Great to be here on the CNG as always. What up, G? How you feeling, my brother?
Man, I'm blessed.
What we brought there to do. And it seemed like we are experiencing that with Montez Sweat. Or if you want to go to the offensive side of the ball, Darnell Wright, if you're looking to get paid, you going the whole wrong way, brother, because you are not performing. Too many penalties on this man. I mean, I have never understood. We played 4 games, 2 of them at home. You know the crowd is being quiet. Why in the hell is your ass moving before the ball is snapped?
Right.
You know, please, somebody explain that to me. And I told you guys, I have said it on your podcast. I have said it on our podcast. We can't go in this season with Braxton Jones as our starting left tackle and thinking offensive line. We cannot do it, and that's exactly what we did. But the one thing that I will say, we finally got a head coach in there that's holding people accountable. How Nagy went out there and trot people back out there in the same position, not sit their ass down when they wasn't performing. Too many times. And that guy went in there, he shook up the line, he tried Trapillo here, didn't work, put him on the other side because we could not contain Cosby. And the same thing for Benedict. So that's the kind of stuff that I want to see, coach. Finally, somebody that's going to hold people accountable when their play is not up to snuff.
Bobby, man, you know, the bad guy said a lot right there, man. And he spoke on Ben Johnson with his no-nonsense attitude, having the ability and understanding the moment and awareness, you know, to bench a guy, you know, man, Braxton Jones, to move Trapillo over here, to move Theo to the left tackle, man. On the fly, we getting the guy in real time, make adjustments, bro. So just piggyback if you want to, man, just on some of that you've seen from Ben Johnson these first 4 weeks, and how do you feel about him going forward, especially somebody that understands the moment of the game?
I understand where everybody coming from when it comes to the offensive line, but me personally, I'm not ready to put Ozzie Trapillo as a right tackle right now. Outside of penalties for Darnell Wright, I still think he's a good right tackle. I ain't saying that we got to go out there and make him the highest paid right tackle. No, I'm not going that far, but I still think that right now, if you line him up next to Ozzie, I like my chances with Darnell Wright, at least for right now. Now, when it comes to the left tackle, it's something that Allen said. I don't know. I will go with Theo because he looked much better, and I'm pretty sure Allen would agree that the anchor that Theo has is much better than Braxton Jones. However, the difference is that Braxton Jones, he can stay on his feet even if he getting his ass pushed back multiple times during a possession. So for me, I don't want to have two young guys, you know, especially a rookie at the right tackle and then a young guy that might struggle a little bit at the left tackle. But if the decision comes to and Ben Johnson say we gotta do it, we gotta do it. I'm not in the mindset of going with who I like. I don't give a shit. I want to win football games. I've been podcasting for the Chicago Bears for 4 seasons now, and I ain't got much to show for it.
Right.
I want wins in my city. I want wins for us. We do this because we love it. So if it comes down to it, we got to make those moves. But I do love that Ben Johnson is coming in and saying enough is enough. But I got one question for Ben Johnson. When the hell you going to say enough is enough for DeAndre Swift getting all the carries in the first and second quarter? That's all I want to know. Because I know y'all remember the play to where Kyle Monangai got the play. He got hit a couple yards behind the line, and he refused to go down, and it resulted in a loss. That was Kyle Monangai telling Ben Johnson, I can hit some mugs too, and they can't bring me down. Give me more snaps. That's how I look at the rookie, kind of making a statement to grab some type of attention. So give this young man some opportunities, and if you don't trust him, y'all need to be on the phone right now trying to see if you can make a deal to get somebody that you can eventually trust in the backfield, because to Shad's point, it's only going to get tougher down the road. It's only going to get tougher once all those divisional games start coming back. So we need to, I'm with whatever though. I'm with whatever is going to help this team get better. It's not about who we like.
Can I please ask this question?
Round of applause to my boy Bobby right there. But go ahead, Shad. But I'm gonna go to Andy. But I'm gonna get, if you ask the question, then I'm gonna let Andy answer the question first. But go ahead, Shad.
Are we willing for Darnell Wright to move his position for the betterment of the best 5 on the field? I know that we talked about left tackle. I know we had discussions about that in nauseam. But
when push comes to shove, we've seen him. He will do it. We just saw him do it.
Yeah.
Change up tackles in the middle of a game, so he will do it.
Let me get some comments in here real quick. We got Carlos saying, "What's up, guys? Bear down." We got Zoe Miller saying, "What's up, Cuzzo?" I think this one of my is this one of my cousins?
No, it's mine. That's
I
all me.
got Walkers and some Millers and some Grants in my family, so I'm like, damn, is that one of my cousins?
I said,
that's right. Yeah, we got Carlos saying Sweat needs to step up. Then we got Donna Liz saying this is a banger night for the podcast. Appreciate these joints. Then we got Audrey saying what's up, CNG podcast, and join the show. So yeah, man, it's just a lot of things going on. I mean, you guys are smoking this podcast right now, man. Like everybody's in here just really just cooking, and everybody got great points. But I want to bring up something that I thought that everybody just pumped their brakes on, and I'm gonna go to Clarence with this. We drafted a tight end number 10, right? Number 10 overall, and I've been seeing a narrative that's suggesting that he might even be a bad pick and player, but I don't really think that's the case. I think he's a young guy who needs reps. He has to learn multiple things, especially he has to learn how to block. He has to learn how to block and then, continue on his routes and whatever he's supposed to do. So Chicago, Clarence, just what's your thoughts on Colston Loveland, man? Just the first 4 guys. I know he's been injured, but just what's your thoughts? Anything. It don't matter, man.
I mean, I'm just going to be flat out honest with you. I hated the pick when it was made. I think that we had other needs. But if I'm going to sit there and look at him, I think the first 2 games, he didn't even dress. And I know he was still coming kind of in, but he played in preseason. He scratches. And I don't understand how you're going to draft your number 10 overall pick and the guy's not even playing. But everybody had us taking Warren, who Indianapolis. Anybody been paying attention to what Warren's been doing out there in Indianapolis? He's been killing it. I got him on my fantasy football team, and they running this guy out the backfield. He's played running back. He's running up the seam. He's catching passes. He's extending plays, and he's catching touchdowns. And that's who if we were going to take a tight end, that's the guy I wish we would have taken. Disappointed that we took Loveland. I'm disappointed that the amount of usage that he has seen the field, because Cole Kmet does nothing but continue to drop the damn ball. We have got to get production out of the tight end spot. But now Loveland is hurt. He got a hip issue. Hopefully, when we come back after the bye, he'll be ready to go. But I think that our tight end game is a lot off our run game if you paid any attention to how Detroit runs their offense. That tight end getting the ball feeds off of what they're able to do in play action. And a lot of times free. So going back to what we just got through talking about, we have got to get this run game go off the ground so we can start seeing the full of what Ben Johnson wants to do on offense.
Man, well said. And Alan, I'm gonna tap into you because Alan, I think you had some of the similar sentiments, man, about Colston Loveland. So do you think this is because it's two different situations in Indiana with the coach right now, man? It's two different situations, I think. Loveland is not the primary target right now. Indiana it's a different ball game, man. I don't think it's fair to say that he should be compared to Tyler Warren right now. I don't think that's necessarily the case with Rome and Caleb. The kids, I think it's a totally different offense. But Alan, just what's your thoughts on Colston Loveland so far and the pick and where we picked him at? And then Bobby, I guess you could go next. Go ahead, Bobby.
Me personally, I wasn't mad at the draft selection. I just hope that later down throughout the draft that the Bears would have been able to do what they were supposed to do. But we came up short for missing out on Travion Henderson. I think that's what hit the Chicago Bears. And like there was some people that was on board with Caleb Johnson, who ultimately went to Pittsburgh. I was not really a big fan of him. I wasn't saying that he was trash. I just didn't think that he was good as the others. You know what I'm saying? Omarion Hamptons, Quinshawn Judkins, those type of players. So I just didn't think that, you know what I'm saying, we should reach. But the Bears should have been doing their due diligence to see if you can get a RJ Harvey or something like that when it comes to the running backs. But I agree with you, G. Walker. It's two different type of situations up in Indy right now. Warren is the number one tight end.
Our podcast said it best. Colston Loveland, I got nothing against the kid. Maybe he's going to be a superstar. Maybe he won't. But right now, he sure does look like a luxury pick we couldn't afford to make. We should have invested in a defensive end or defensive tackle or something to help this run game. Now you see our weaknesses. I mean, I have nothing against Loveland. He may be a superstar, and I may have to eat my words, but he sure does seem like a luxury pick we couldn't afford to make at 10. I think we should have invested. Now it's easy to say it. We should have invested somewhere else. Now when you see our weaknesses and how glaring they are, we should have made an investment somewhere else and not at tight end.
That's real. So Chicago Clarence, I know you feel the same way, man.
That's from Todd. That was Todd's suggestion.
I say that's a great take. Can't argue with it.
Yeah, you can't argue with it. Shout out to Todd, man. We got to get you on the show one day. But Chicago Clarence, like way Ryan posed, it's just really getting hard to understand who's doing what in the war room, man. Like it's just really getting hard because how do you not draft the pass rush, bro? How do you not draft the left tackle, a running back? Like, and Ben Johnson, I don't know if it's him or what, because how much patience is he gonna really have? How much patience is he really gonna have? Like, you gotta trust him again next draft. So, Chicago Clarence, just go ahead, whoever that is.
The talk has been that Ben Johnson has a steady voice in the room. Now, if he does, then he's partly to blame for this, but he's going to have a lot of patience because he's getting paid $13 million a year. So at that, my question is, as I said before on my show, I'm a salesman. That's how I earn a living. But if I can look at this football team and point out that we need a left tackle, point out that we need an edge rusher, or point out that we need a running back, and we go into the draft and not address neither one of those, if I can see it, why can't they? Because 4 games in, we are seeing what a problem that has been, that we did not adequately address that. Everybody patted Ryan Poles on the back except us, limiting the fact of how he went out and attacked the offensive line in the offseason. But the most important spot you did nothing about because you still tried Braxton Jones out there at the left tackle position. And so on the outside of the ball, you can't get off the field, particularly on third down, if you can't get to the quarterback. And we're seeing quarterbacks coming out of these games too many times with a clean jersey. So, and as the season goes on, if we're not able to run the ball, because another thing that I was harping on is the fact that we needed a 3 technique. We got to have somebody in the middle, man. We need a monster in there eating up blocks, keeping those linemen off our linebackers. So all of these are things that I, was kind of pointing out. We talked about it on our show. We talked about it on your show, and I know it takes time to build a football team, but he's making mistakes because I'm going to say it again. If you're going to take your number 10 overall pick and you're going to pick a player and 2 games out of the 4, he's a healthy scratch, that's a freaking problem. I don't
Kyler Gordon, if I'm correct. And then the following year is Javon Dexter and Zach Pickens. And now we see this offseason, just to provide more context, Dennis Allen went and clamored for Dayo Owendingbo. And then as soon as Grady Jarrett was a free agent, he was signed literally damn near the next day, if I remember correctly. That could have been something tailored to Dennis Allen or Ryan Poles himself. So, Clarence,
Right.
when you say that we got to look at Ben and the coaching staff too, because he has that voice. I'm right there with you, bro. We got to look at the GM and the coaches for these decisions because, yes, we looked at those additions that we made on the offensive line with Tooney, Dahlman, and Jonah Jackson. To me, in my eyes, that was Ben Johnson, and along with Ryan Poles, who had to get the deal done.
Right.
And I'm with you. I think that's why they leaned into more of the luxury pick. But to Andy's point, is looking kind of shaky right now. So I think there's some context that we could provide with it to where we got to look at the GM and our coaching staff as well with some of their decisions.
Man, and you know what, Shy? And that's something that I'm really starting to see because, Ben, like I said, Ben Johnson comes off a person that he's very direct, man. And he looks like he's really wanting to get to winning as soon as possible. I know he's a rookie head coach, and I know they paid him $13 million a year. But going forward, this next draft, I'm terrified, man, because the defensive line has to be revamped totally.
Yes,
like they're gonna have to find a way to get rid of Montez Sweat. They're gonna have to find a way. Then you got Dayo. So if you're Ben Johnson, like how are you feeling about next offseason? And you got to talk to your defensive coordinator and be like, because you can't blame it on one person. I'm starting to just trying to see who up here in doing these business deals, these drafts, because we can't keep going back. Like we can't stare at another top 15 pick and not pick the right pick. So I'm a little scared of that, man. So just what's your thoughts on Ryan Poles, his influence, or Ben Johnson at this point in time with the misses that we made so far and that's affecting this season right now?
I'm afraid too. Because I know in recent history, I saw Darnell Wright selected over Jalen Carter. I saw them say they didn't need Jared Verse. I saw them say they need Joe Alt. I saw them say Will Campbell's arm's too short. I've watched the evaluations of this guy for 5 years, and I'm sitting here trying to figure out what's he building. When he came from Kansas City, he was supposed to have the blueprint. He worked under 3 of the most legendary organizational runners ever, and you were supposed to inherit that because you were part of that. You were in the room with that. You were tutelage. You were mentored by that.
Right. Some of that good get on you. Right. Some of it get on you.
Even that goes to the selection of Caleb Williams over keeping Justin Fields. So for me, you have to challenge the eye when a guy has to be talked down by Ian Cunningham not to trade up to get Rome Odunze because he's going to be on the board when you select. Like, we have to take all these things and keep them in mind when we're talking about the way this roster looks like. It was built outside in on defense. It was built outside in on offense. And now we're seeing the fruits of that. They were banking on the coaching staff that they brought in, the very high-touted coaching staff to elevate the performance of the players that we saw last year under Eberflus that we said wasn't getting the correct coaching. Through 4 weeks, Dennis Allen has been irrelevant in my eyes. I hear on multiple platforms on PFF how the Bears design on third downs or design in red zone circumstance or situations to make it difficult on quarterbacks, which have led to turnovers and which have led to teams playing under their normal averages. But if you're building a great defense, you need guys that can, in one play, make that play without a play call, without any design, without any type of motivation, because he's the best player in front of another player that's supposed to stop him. You don't have anyone on your defensive front that's going to win one-on-one.
No.
He needs to. And you're not going to be an elite team without that. Jared Verse would have been a Bear for 15 years had they stuck to their chops and understood that even though we wouldn't got Montez Sweat, putting Verse and Sweat together can be very formidable, considering what Minnesota just did with adding Jonathan Allen, Tariq Williams at Ohio State to their defensive front. Then we look at Detroit. Did they stay packed with just having Hutchinson coming off a bad leg? No. They invested over $40 million in their front seven. And you see that paying off in the first 4 weeks. So they lost both their coordinators, by the way. Anyway, Ben Johnson was brought here to beat this division, to be the difference maker in this division. When he was brought here, he said, I stayed here because I know this division. We're 0-2. So for me, not only looking at Ryan Poles, I want to know exactly what Ben Johnson had in terms of the clicks to pick on being victorious in this division and building on that. Because he had already a built-in infrastructure from Brad Holmes, Andy. Already had that. Brad Holmes was one of the best minds in football. So if you miss that component and think that the coaching is going to balance it out, I think you're fooling yourselves. Y'all let me know if I'm off the base, man.
Yeah, anybody can chime in, man. CJ or Clarence, anybody can go in, man. Bobby.
Like I said, I think it's a hell of a point too, Sean. I ain't gonna hold you. It's a hell of a point because if we did get Jared Verse, I just seen Jared Verse push a center on his backside and Superman dive to Daniel Jones the other day. But I think the issue is that we not getting what we need out of Montez Sweat. Because 100%. You have a premium 100%. Pass rusher in Aiden Hutchinson. You have that. So then you can go pick up a young rookie in the middle in Tariq Williams and be like, all right, go. Because the main guy is going to be getting the double team.
Right.
Montez Sweat not getting double team like that.
He ain't getting no one on
very disappointing, bro. I think he not even in the top 30 of pass rushers when it comes to double teams in the league.
No go-to move whatsoever. No go-to move whatsoever.
You want a power rush, bro? What a chop block? What a bend? What a dip? What a spin inside? And to your point, you know what I'm saying? I think coaching is a huge thing, and we seen Javon Dexter step up big times to start the season last year. So I think that the expectations was him to step up again.
Yeah.
So now you got to go up to the drawing board if you're Dennis Allen to see how you can get the best out of this group. Yes, guys are coming back, but the defensive line for the most part been healthy. And I know damn sure, to your point, when it comes to the coaching shot, I know damn sure. This is why I got to hold my players accountable too. I know damn sure Dennis Allen is not telling both of his linebackers to blitz in the A gap in the same A gap. This is what we seen in the Raiders game.
That's what Allen was right.
Like, and I know he's not telling his edges Montez Sweat when you got to set the edge to go inside. No, it's an obvious running down, and you know they're gonna go wide zone. What are you doing? Like, no. So I think it's a collaboration of both. We definitely can look at this team and say we gotta take a step forward. Otherwise, those divisional matchups, you're gonna lose. In some of these other games, when it comes to the finishing playing the AFC North, to play the AFC North, the Browns, the Browns might be trash offensively, but they got a game record at Myles Garrett. Mason Graham is playing his ass off, and the Steelers are coming on alone. The Ravens might be a little mid, the Bengals might be a little mid, but the Eagles defense ain't mid. That's on your schedule too. You got Micah Parsons that you still ain't that been introduced to. So I'm with y'all, man. Yeah, the coaches got to step up and these players got to step up 100%. 100%. You muted, G.
Yeah, and I agree with everything that you guys are saying, man. You guys are smoking it right now, man, and everything is right, man. We all should be getting paid a lot of these people's salaries on these bigger platforms right now. So I hope y'all out there on some of these bigger platforms listen to me, Shad, Bobby, Chicago, Clarence, and Andy and CJ, man, because these guys are absolutely savants at what they talk about, and they know what they're talking about. But Chicago, Clarence, I want to talk about one thing. We've been going for about an hour. Only got about 15 minutes, man. We're gonna talk about some positive stuff. So I'm gonna start with you, Chicago, Clarence, and I'm gonna go to Andy. So, but what are you happy about so far? Even though we're 2-2, we could be 0-4, we could be 1-3, or we could be 3-1. What has been the most improved thing or developed thing that you've taken to me? Like, you know what, we can travel with this from week to week. This can help us win games, even though everything around us is not ideal right now.
One of the things that I can tell you that I'm happy about, and I've been really critical of him, is our quarterback. Because when you can see your quarterback out there and it's winning time, he leads you down the field to get the lead back, and special teams and or defense comes out and the game and stops the game. You wouldn't have got there without the quarterback. And when there was plays to be made, Caleb Williams made the play. He got it down there. And you could say it was against a mid defense. You could say it against a bad defense. We as Chicago Bear fans have experienced it all. We've seen it all from quarterback play. And we've had guys back there that wouldn't have been able to and get that touchdown back. Caleb Williams did that. But him more than this, so I'm happy about the head coach. He's a rookie head coach. He's made some mistakes in the 4 games. But over and all, I like the direction of the football team. I like the fact that you don't have not one single player in the media talking about we want to be coach harder. Guys on this team to be held accountable. We had this last year. We spent around about the same time that we have are in right now. We had players going in the meeting in the locker room. They needed to be coached different, screaming to be people to be on the football team held accountable. We don't have that problem with this coaching staff. We don't have that problem with Ben Johnson. But anybody got our head coach back on that stupid ass question that reporter asked him that he caught some flack over? You know, because it wasn't even a question. You came at him. Why you got what you got? You deserved it. You know, because you don't have to tell a head coach that's already pissed off that something needs to change and they need to do stuff differently when we're sitting up there and we shooting ourselves in the. We don't got 3 takeaways and got 3 points to show for it. So there's not a head coach that I know of that's not going to be pissed off. So it was a stupid ass statement that she made. So I'm glad she got. He had no business even to put that. You deserve what you got.
Facts. Facts, man. She asked a dumbass question, and I think she just wanted to push Ben Johnson's buttons, man. We all know Ben is short-tempered. We know he don't, you know, he's very, very impatient, man. So saying something like that to him in the middle of a game, coming out of halftime, like you said, Clarence, everything is not going how it's supposed to go, and she deserved whatever vein popped out his neck at the moment and whatever stare down he gave her at the moment. She deserved all of that shit, man, because it was so stupid to even ask that, man. It was dumb. But Chicago, Clarence, man, before we get out of here, you know, we talked about a lot of things that's going wrong and what things should be right, but what have you liked so far to get us 2-2, whether it's the quarterback position, the offensive coordinator, whether it's Tyreek Stevenson stepping up on the defensive end, or, you know, some of the other coaches, Al Harris and Antoine Randall, working with the wide receivers, getting Rome to where he needs to be. So just anything positive about the Bears to get 2-2, man, because how are you feeling going forward?
I mean, I think that once we
start. Come on, Andy. This is Andy.
This is Andy. Okay, I thought. Okay.
You know, I said this on my show. When we watched the game at Boardwalk Billy's, I realized that nobody at our table said, Caleb ain't going to get this done. Caleb's going to fail. He's going to throw a pick 6. He's going to fumble the ball. He's not going to deliver. On my way home, I said to myself, man, I don't know when was the last time we had 100% faith that our quarterback was going to deliver that game-winning drive. Like, none of us, I didn't hear nobody at our table doubt that Caleb Williams wasn't going to deliver. So by me saying that, I think Caleb Williams has done well this year. very well. I think he's improved greatly since Minnesota. I didn't think he was that good against Minnesota, but I think he's gotten better each game. He's stacking them together. And Rome Odunze looks like he's going to be a number one receiver that we expected him to be. That kid looks good, really good. And Tyreek Stevenson finally was like a number one corner. And Joe Thuney is exactly what we thought we would get. A Super Bowl veteran with rings on his finger. Like, you don't ever hear him getting called for penalties or giving up sacks or pressures or quarterback hits. He's doing exactly what we paid for. Just lead by example. And I think Noah Sewell's played well in TJ Edwards' absence. I think he's played well. He's not been perfect, but he's been a lot better than I expected. For somebody who's barely been on the field for 2 years, we didn't think he would make the roster. I think he's played very, very well for himself. And that's about all the positives I have for players.
Man, well said, Andy. Let me give you a round of applause for that, man. That was really good. Same thing to you, Shy, man. Then we're gonna go to CJ, and I'm gonna end it, man. So Shy, just anything positive, man. Like, we 2-2, bro, and I'm pretty optimistic of where we at, because I think Caleb is gonna get better. His mechanics has looked a lot better. He's starting to anticipate his throws a lot better. I think he's starting to trust Rome Odunze more. I think he's starting to trust the offensive line more. I think he's starting to just trust himself more. I think that Caleb Williams, a lot of the sack PTSD that he had with 68 sacks is starting to wear off. Like, I think he's really starting to understand what a good offensive line can do with somebody with that type of arm and with that type of velocity that he has with his arm and that speed he has with his arm. And I think he's starting to realize, I really can get this motherfucker off quick, and I can trust some guys to get this ball. So I think the thing I've liked the most about this 2-2 is that Caleb Williams has looked better every game. I didn't think he was going to lose that game, like Andy said. I just think that Caleb Williams becoming steady Eddie. He's under center better, and that's something that he didn't do his whole career. From little league up into college, he was not an under center quarterback, and he's actually been pretty good under center. So if I'm me and I'm a fan and we're traveling with that, I'll take that 9 times out of 10. If I'm traveling with Rome Odunze the way he's playing right now, I'm taking that 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10. Ben Johnson, you know what I mean? Because there's going to be winnable games on our schedule, Shaw, and I think we might be turning the corner to where we can get a lot of those winnable games that we should have got last year. Just with the teams we're going to play, they're not going to be great on defense, and Ben Johnson knows how to control the clock, control the timeouts, and Caleb is learning how to execute in the clutch. So those are my positives, 2-2. And Shaw, what are yours, bro?
That the division is not as good as it was last year, and the Bears are visually better than they were last year. So even with a 2-2 record and being on the bottom based on numbers and percentages, I don't look at this as the worst team in the division. For me, that was kind of my starting point. What's the floor for this team? You know, I look at the quarterback position in this division. Minnesota with some uncertainty. Detroit, you know what they have. Green Bay, a little uncertainty, but you know who he is. For the most part, our quarterback and head coach have thrown the ball 133 times this year through 4 games, 2 interceptions. You can hang your hat on that moving forward as a guy not only that understands the importance of keeping the ball, but you don't beat yourself while you're still working on the kinks of your offense and you're still learning how to maneuver in this offense. You're not whooping yourself on top of what already is going on. Like, you know, we got penalties to deal with. Some asses need to be kicked because of these penalties. It needs to stop immediately, but I like the way that they're making them, not how they're making them. You know what I mean? I don't see egregious penalties where you're losing your shit, meaning 15-yard penalties because you did some dumb shit. Last year, we saw that every game. So I think it's more or less them just getting the snaps, getting the practice time together, understanding this is a new year, and you have a quarterback legitimately that can be the best player in the division. And normally if you have that, you're cooking with a playoff team. That's W's moving forward. Now, look at what the Washington Redskins did last year. I'm looking at a reverse role here for Caleb Williams in year 2. Everybody was on Jaden Daniels last year and how he performed with his offense. Nobody has seen them perform that way. The defense looked measurably better under their new head coach than people expected. I think the Bears have an opportunity, especially going into Washington off the bye, to inherit that narrative and move forward with it, because they have all of the components that you would like to see a playoff roster have, outside of the flaws that we discussed already. If you hanging your hat on something, it's a consistent QB, consistent coach, and a consistent understanding on this is what's going to be the foundation of us winning games. So that's why I'm gonna plant my flag, G.
Man, I appreciate it, man. It's a great take, man, because that's where I'm at. Because we will be able to win games just because Caleb and Ben are gonna be good, and I think the defense is gonna get better when guys get healthy, TJ and Kyler, and then eventually with Jalen Johnson. And I think, to me, it's so important. It's so important to learn how to win in the trenches, not necessarily on the offensive line, but when the game is not necessarily right in the bag, bro. You got to grow in those moments. You have to grow. So when you can recognize, be like, yo, we've been here before. We've been at third and 7. We got sacked and we've had a penalty and we won a game. That's so important to a team's identity, because all the great teams win ugly. All the great teams know how to sneak out a win. That's the most important thing that I want to see going forward. Is everything around you is not going to be perfect. But if you're the number 1 overall pick, that cream's supposed to rise to the top. 9th overall pick, that cream's supposed to rise to the top every single time. Ben Johnson, even though you're a Cubs season ticket holder, all this stuff you were doing in Detroit, we supposed to squeak out wins. So we saw it with the Raiders. And that's very encouraging for me, man. And that's all I really want to see, because there are going to be great games where Caleb was absolutely slinging it. The defense is going to be great. But them games where it's a dog fight, I'm on the TV like this. Can we pull it out? Because I guarantee you, those are going to be the playoffs games. Those are going to be the playoffs games. When that team that you're going against, y'all damn near neck and neck, do you have enough experience to win a game when it's ugly? And I think that's what I want to see more than anything from this team, is winning ugly. But CJ, what's your positives about 2-2? Then we're going to get up out of here, big dog. What you got? Anything, man. What do you like about the season so far?
You muted.
You got to unmute your mic, see? Unmute your mic, CJ.
My fault. Yeah, Rome is figuring out how to get open. We're seeing more playmakers on the offense. I think that's encouraging. Now, I think we need to see that on the defense. More playmakers show up on the defense, and I think this Bears will be all right. But the reason I don't have no problems with the offense, because you're kind of seeing Rome being that number 1 playmaker as far as getting open. And he's finding ways to get open. I'm seeing him every time out there on the field. So if we start getting these playmakers on different positions on the offense, the Bears' offense is going to excel at a high level. The defense need to catch up, but we need to start seeing more of these playmakers get out on the field. I want to see Luther Burton start getting more receptions out there.
Yeah, me too.
We need to start seeing these playmakers get out on the field for the Bears.
Yeah, I would love to see that too, man. Before we end it, man, Bobby, anybody, if y'all got one thing y'all want to say before we got to go, please say it, and then we can do our socials and let everybody know what the fans are. So, anybody got anything left else to say?
Oh, I was just gonna say, man, the positive I'm gonna ride with is that I see growth.
Oh, I ain't go with you, Bobby. I'm sorry, bro.
No, you good, bro. I just see, I'm one positive I'm gonna say is I see growth. I know it's just early in the season and things can absolutely take us back and make our PTSD kick in, but we don't win games like last week. We haven't done that in a very long time. No, we can point out a number of things that happened under Matt Eberflus, but I want to give credit to Tyreek Stevenson. Though he started off the season rough, he ain't been doing no bonehead personal foul stuff. He been a good soldier for the Chicago Bears. And then my man's Caleb Williams, the growth is there. You know what I'm saying? His feet were sloppy as ever versus the Minnesota Vikings. But ever since then, you could tell he's been putting in the work. The feet has been good, and that's what helps him be accurate. Yes, he's still struggling a little bit here and there with the layups, but he's hitting them more often than not now, and that's what you want to see. And, G, we talked about it. We like, hey, DJ Whoa, what you on, dog? Hey, how you feel?
Hey, do something for me.
And then we got a hug last week. So I'm gonna take
all
that.
22 sideline. DJ Warren, Caleb Williams, bro. We got to do it.
And hug it. So I'm gonna take it. And I can't wait for it ain't even the second half, but the rest of the season to come through, and we can see what these Bears are made of for real. Because it's all gas, no brakes from here on out.
All right, Bobby. With that being said, man, just tell the people where they can find you at, man. We can end this thing, big dog, man. Shout out to you, man, for coming in, bro. I appreciate it.
You already know. Shout out to you and the CNG family, man, for bringing me on. It's always a pleasure. Definitely kicked it with Clarence a couple times, Andy as well. Good to link up with Shad for the first time. So, man, hey, let's keep this thing going. It's a space for all of us in Bears Nation. Ain't no hate over here coming from me, but y'all can find me on Chicago Bears Central. And if you just love football, man, tune in to NFL Central. Me and my man Steve-O, we got a whole show covering the entire NFL as well. Even though we show out and love our Chicago Bears, we still love the game. So we talk football for just about all 32 teams on NFL Central.
All right, Chicago Clarence or Andy, man, tell the people where they can find you at. Andy, go ahead, big dog.
Well, thank you guys for having me. It's been a pleasure. Nice meeting you, Shad. I know I'm hooked up with Bobby and Clarence. I know and Clarence cheats at fantasy football, but that's another podcast. And CJ and G Walker, man, nice working with you guys. You can find us, the Bears Den Podcast, on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram.
And I want to say this about to Andy, man. Congratulations on y'all getting 1,600 followers on Facebook, man. I noticed that, man.
Yeah,
good job.
So congratulations, man. Y'all
Thank you.
up in this, man. I really wanted to say congratulations to y'all, man. Y'all been grinding, man. Ever since I met y'all, man, we've been locked in, man. So it's nice to see people that are coming up in this space, man. That really got to get it out of the mud. You know, there's no big cosigns for guys like us, man. There's really nobody really coming down and just picking us up. So we have to pick ourselves up. And that's why I always say, man, you don't want to be part of nobody else's table. You want to build your own table. And that's something that I prided myself doing along with me and CJ. You know, I'm always looking for the best talent, whether that's Shaw, whether that's Andy, whether that's Bobby, Allen. Like, I feel like all of us together and a few other people that I'm bringing together, we're greater in numbers, man. Like, no one person is above the team. You know what I mean? It's one band, one sound. So we all look great together. And I will always look up for you guys to be a part of what we're doing, man, because it's about the Chicago Bears, man. And I love getting opinions from everybody and working with everybody that want to work with us, man. So you guys always got a seat on the CNG podcast. And yeah, man. So with that being said, Shad, man, what's your socials, man? Tell everybody where they can find you at, bro.
Another one in the book, CNG. I appreciate the love and support as always. Shot on Sports on all platforms. That's X, that's IG, that's Facebook. Once a week, you can catch me on Facebook Live doing the podcast. Part of Disruption, man. My little shorty walked by. But basically, you can find me on any social media platform, whether talking about sports or just bringing up or uplifting life, man. I appreciate all the support, man. And Bobby, Andy, brothers from another mother, man. It was good chopping it up with y'all, man, as always.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna let my big dog CJ end it, man. But I'm gonna get to these comments, and I'm gonna talk about the people that was actually in here. Dinah Liv, man, he's been locked in with us on Twitter, man, for a minute now, man. Fly to W, the Cubs won. Then we got Soulback Sports, my young boy Amric, man, just did a show with him. Then we had Carlos come in, Zoe. Shout out to Zoe. Then we got Audrey come in, Devine Dobbs, man, saying, wow, you guys are awesome. Much love. Yeah, we've come a long way in about 3 years, man. It's a lot of networking I've been doing, a lot of producing. And if anybody knows me, man, I'm going to try to get the best talent around me, man, every single time. I like to shine the light on other people, you know what I mean, who's better than me. I don't care, man. If you can cook better than me or you can talk sports better than me, I want you on my team. I just really like putting the light on other people, man. That's why I'm constantly building this. So, yeah, just want to shout out to the people that's in the chat. So, CJ, man, any final thoughts, man? And just talk to the people, big dog.
Yeah, man, I appreciate everybody who commented on the podcast tonight. I got a couple of family members who I need a shout out real quick.
Yeah.
So let me go to the comments. So Zoe Miller, another one of my family members, first time coming on the podcast. Appreciate you for coming in, stopping by. Also appreciate you for sending some stars to the podcast. Hey, it's always needed, but appreciate you for doing that. Shout out to my mother, Audrey Scott, for coming through. Appreciate to my auntie from Devine Dawes for coming through. Let me try to go to y'all comments. There's a lot of comments in here. Yeah, appreciate y'all for coming through, man. And, yeah, family and working together with people that's that just love to talk about football is always a good thing for me, especially with all the things I've been going through. So it's good just come on here to hear everybody's opinions on different football topics. I love it. And everybody else have a good night and salute to you.
Yes, sir.
Bear down. We out of here. Peace. One love.